Hey guys, hi, how you doing? It's a beautiful, really beautiful evening. It's really quiet outside. And I thought I should do a recap on the introduction of paper. I don't know if I thought about it. Maybe I didn't like the other introduction myself. But a friend checks out my update on Facebook about the intro and he's like, dude, I got lost. And I'm like, what do you mean by you got lost? But basically the truth is he never understood anything I said. But that was totally beautiful. You have such honest friends so that they can give you good feedback. Sometimes you don't really like it, but it's what you do about it that really matters. So the whole of this is just about the reintroduction of paper sketches. So who is paper sketches? What is paper sketches? Why paper sketches? I mean, out of all the names in the world, why would you pick paper sketches? And what is these paper sketches all about? For those of you who've read my pieces, you can really relate with paper sketches. But for those who've never read, I would request you to just take some time and go to www.papersketches.wordpress.com and find out a bit more than I would actually be able to say here, because there you get a dozen of my sketches really, and you'll understand why I pick sketches. But just to do a short one on the same, paper sketches is a combination of paper and then sketches, where paper is basically pen and paper. So pen and paper, the one we write on. The first time I call myself that, this friend tells me, I thought about Peppa Pig, and I'm like, Peppa Pig? What is Peppa Pig? I had to Google to find out what that is. But to make it simpler, paper is pen and paper, and then sketches. Why sketches? So the whole paper sketches thing came up at a very interesting point in my life, a point whereby I was almost at my lowest. I thought I was almost at my lowest, but after that I got to other lower points in life. But the discovery of paper sketches actually helped me in those latter days. But before we get to those latter days, which will come in along my sketches as we go on, is that paper came up on a particular evening where I knew all along I'd always wanted to write, but on this particular evening I was, to be honest, I was lonely. I was bored, and I was so used to being around people, but at this particular point I'm basically alone and bored, alone and almost distraught. And you don't want to keep calling guys and listening to their stories or telling them your stories, and at this particular point you don't even have a story. But that is superficial. I realize I have a story because everyone has a story, and my story can really come out from my lowest point in life. And so right here lay a notepad, and on the other end there was a pen. And so I was like, oh, I can use the pen to write my feelings and my thoughts on paper, but I don't know what I'm supposed to write. And then I'm like, why don't I just write about this particular moment, how I'm feeling at this particular moment, and maybe no one will ever read it, but it will help ease my heart, and I could find myself at a more reasonable point after that. And interestingly, I didn't even know I could write, but I start out on paper, and then I'm wondering, what am I going to do at the end of the day? What am I going to write about? And I'm like, I can do sketches. I think I can do sketches. Sketches being the pieces of my life. And once I bring all these pieces together, they will form a full, complete story. So every time I write, it's a combination of very many pieces. It could be in a single day, it could be in a single month, it could be in an entire season. And when you combine all these little pieces together, they actually form the entire story, and that story becomes me. because I now take the place of paper, and in combination with the sketches, it actually makes a full complete structure. I can call it structure, yeah. And the more I write, the more I realize that there is so much beauty in life. So I want to ask you this right now, that anytime you see paper sketches, I want you to envision beauty, envision real beauty, because at the end of every story there is the finish line, and the finish line has to be hope. The finish line has to be, what did you come up with at the end of the day? And this is basically what I've always wanted to be or to do in my life, and this should be displayed, and you will realize it as you go through my sketches, which I basically call the sketches of life. In short, it's paper sketches. Paper sketches. I love paper sketches, and I believe that if we can travel this journey together, you two are gonna fall in love with paper sketches even more than the persona himself. And what I try to do with all my sketches is make them as real as possible and avoid a lot of fiction, because fiction, yes, I know it adds juice, but there is nothing more sincere than truth. There is nothing more sincere than truth. When this reminds me of this other friend of mine, I call him Big Man. At one point he reads my sketches and is like, why did you hide your feelings? Why did you not bear it all out? And I'm like, why do you want the entire world to know how I'm feeling? And then he tells me, sometimes, you know what, my brother, raw is good. And as I discover, raw is good, and being vulnerable, it doesn't matter who is watching or listening or reading, being vulnerable always comes out as the most amazing thing. And so with the sketches, most of the time I'm vulnerable. Sometimes I'll try cover it up, but if you're keen enough, you'll just like, you know what, dude, I unwrapped this, can't you see it's all out there? And basically that's what sketches is about. It's about you, it's about me, it's about the life that we go through, it's about our daily events and how we envision it, how we go about it. So basically what I'm bringing in is a totally new dimension of storytelling. It's about what I experienced and what you experienced. So you could also be part of these sketches. But as we go on, it is more of an interactive kind of conversation. It's more of a love story where there is you and there is me, and together when we combine, what do we form? The pieces combine little by little. It's like all broken 10 pieces, and then we bring them sketch by sketch by sketch by sketch by sketch, and at the end of the day we have a complete piece. I know I did something similar to this in the other video, but this is the actual truth of the sketches, so I really have to redo it so that you understand that at the end of the day we have this completion, and we can join them together, but I love them as pieces, because basically our lives are pieces and nothing else. So come along my sketches, be my trader, and let me be your paper, and together we can combine all our sketches into something totally amazingly beautiful. So once again, my dear trader, I welcome you to paper, and let's enjoy the ride. Share whatever you love, comment on what you love, and even what you don't love and what you think is different, because I am totally, what do they call it? They call it goodness, English. Who even came up with this language? They call it controversial. Did I just use that? Let's find out if paper is really controversial as he says it is, and let's find out if you can tread along my lines, and let's enjoy this journey. So once again, welcome to paper. Let's join the sketches. Let's have an amazing thread. Have a good one, buddies, and beautiful evening. Be blessed always. Thank you.